Hi, I'm Shannon in St. Louis. I garden in a zone 6A/6B, and this is my second garden video. I am providing an update to the first video that I did last month. Let's get started. Okay, starting back over, we're just going to review kind of everything that we saw the last time. So over here we have an Oakland holly, some boxwoods, an Alice oak leaf hydrangea, which did not bloom for me this year. I did get it as a baby, and planted it in probably March, April, or May. So it is new, but I did not get any blooms on any of my oak leaves, and it's possible just because I got them so young and so early. This is a maiden grass. Again, these are the hostas that I have had, that I've just been dividing since we bought the house. This is a blue Atlas cedar. It's new that we put in. That's Chip, my dog. This is a viburnum Birkwood. It does have beautiful little flowers in the spring. And again, these are hostas, and behind the hostas are these really pretty spireas. They're called mellow yellow, obviously because of their chartreuse color. And they do have little white flowers in the spring. All these plants have been moved so many times because the hostas weren't up when I put these plants in, so they had to be moved around the hostas. These are 3 sky pencil hollies that I put together because one just kind of looked too small for the area. This is a serviceberry, and the serviceberry did have white flowers that turned then into red berries, and the birds loved them. I did put some elephant ears in between my neighbors and at the very border of our property, just because I had extra bulbs. So there's some elephant ears. And then I put this bush in. This is a, holy cow, lemon lace elderberry, and it's grown. It's gotten huge. It's done well, but it just kind of is hidden and kind of blends in with everything, as does the spireas. This is my new favorite. Well, not my new favorite. I knew it was going to be my favorite. It's the Limelight and Standard, and it has done really well, and I love the blooms. And then all of my hostas that are original, we put in those boxwoods when we moved in. So those are about, I'm going to say like 15 years old. And then the front of our house is my houseplants primarily. So I put houseplants into mixed containers. And this one's actually my favorite right now, the one with the yellow. And it's really just some mixtures of like pothos and philodendrons. And then a bunch of the, I love the arrowhead plants as well. So, and then I've got some annuals too, to kind of give it some color. And these hostas do need to be trimmed, but I've seen quite a few hummingbirds in them. So I'm going to let the hostas remain until every last bloom is gone, and then I'll cut them down because the hummingbirds really do like the hosta flowers. And my hostas are burnt and sun scorched. And I did mention in the first video that we had 2 giant trees. So previously these hostas had quite a bit of shade. And because we have so many deer, I almost never get to see these blooms because generally the deer decimate all of my hostas. Oh, and here's my other Limelight. I have one on the other side of the house. I love it. I've been babying it. It has a lot of blooms. It's turning white. I love it. And I did all of the planting myself. We did hire someone to come in and take out the to come and take out the ivy and the honeysuckle bushes, but everything else I did myself. I picked out the plants, I put them where they are, and because of that, and not being a professional, I moved everything half a dozen times. So these poor plants have survived quite a bit of trauma. Here at my mailbox, I have some, another one of those oak holly, hold on. It's a little giant arborvitae, and then an Oakland holly, and then a jet stream dwarf pampas grass, surrounded by a bunch of boxwoods and some lorope. And then I just did the exact same thing over here and mirrored it. So it's lorope again, the grass, the holly, and the little ball, little giant. And then over here, which is the bigger part of our garden, is just kind of a mixture of plants that I picked up. This is a dogwood bush, 2 dogwood bushes. The golden one has red twigs in the winter. I think I'm going to move it because it's gets a lot of shade right here. And then over here, I have some creeping jenny, more boxwoods. And I think I'm going to move that one. And I think I'm going to move it possibly over here. I'm not 100%. And because I've done so much moving of these plants, I'd like to not stress them any more than I already have. The Japanese forest grass. This is kind of a funky one. I'm not sure what happened. It looked the same as all the others when I got it. It looked just like that. But it's done some kind of like interesting changes. But the rest all look the same. I really, really, really love, and if anyone's looking for just kind of a medium shrub, I really love this sunshine ligustrum. It's kind of a chartreuse, and like keeping in theme with my green chartreuse and white theme. But I like these bushes a lot. I have 3 of them. And then this is a little lemon lime Nandia, and I have 3 of them. Like I said, I really was just kind of picking things out and didn't have a whole lot of rhyme or reason initially, and just kind of placed them and moved them around a lot. I have a ton of ferns, and I have some different ones. Like this one is a Christmas fern, but the majority are ostrich ferns. And then, let's see, that's a lady fern, a red lady fern. There might even be what's this one over here? Eastern wood fern, just an assortment of ferns, because I did hear that the deer won't eat ferns, and because we have such a serious deer problem, I did add all those ferns in hopes of keeping them away. Recently, I'm so excited, I got my first clearance plants. That is a little lime, and then I have a holly over there, blue twigs holly, and then this spruce, which will get big. That's Foo. So this whole area was ivy that had been overgrown, so that's why it looks very vacant. It had just kind of kept encroaching from our neighbors, and I never really cleaned it back. So now we've got some space to fill, and I really plan to fill it with ferns. It does get quite a bit of sun during the day, so ferns may not be the right answer, but I'm still trying to figure that out. Here is another Alice oak leaf hydrangea. It looks good, but it did not do any blooms either. Again, I bought all my plants really small, so possibly it was just because it was a baby and early, but none of my oak leaf hydrangeas bloomed. This is a double bridal wreath spirea, and I love the pictures that I've Googled. It looks really pretty. Of course, I bought this after it had bloomed, so I really didn't get the opportunity to see it. I also randomly have throughout some coral bells and heuchera, and this is Dolce Apple Twist. So I have some coral bells throughout. Some are in better shape than others. Some were in bigger containers when I bought them. And then this is a coral bark Japanese maple. I'm really excited about this. It's one of 2 Japanese maples that I got. This is another little blue twigs holly. It looks pretty bad because the poor thing's been moved so many times. This is a mock orange. It's super tiny. It also got eaten by deer, cut in half. I didn't spray it, and it's the one thing the deer found that I didn't spray, but it's recuperating. This is a little zebra grass, and I'm looking forward to seeing that as it gets bigger. And then a white lilac that just came in a very, very small container. So I'm working on growing that as well. So this is this kind of whole area. You can really hear all of the bugs. I'm doing this at night so you can see the moon garden in the evening. Again, as I mentioned, we did a lot of changes. So this is grass that doesn't look so great now. We've been in a heat wave and a drought. And since we don't have irrigation, I am the irrigation. And I think, I call these little giants by numbers. I think number 3 is dying. I'm pretty sure number 3 is dying. And number 8 looks pretty bad too. Here's number 8. So these two, I guess out of the 18 green giants that we purchased, I shouldn't be shocked that I'm losing 2, but, and I actually, to tell you the truth, with this heat wave, I've been watering a lot, and I think I've overwatered because when I put my finger in the mulch, it's damp. So I don't think it's due to being dry. I think it's because I've watered too much. I've been a little too aggressive with the water, and I tend to love my plants to death. At least that was my hardest lesson I learned with my house plants. So now we're coming over to the moon garden. We also planted these boxwoods. And in the moon garden, I have crammed a lot of plants, and I probably will be, having to move them as they mature and get larger. But we have just some house plants outside, a clematis vine growing on the trellis behind. And then this is more of my foliage moon garden. So I've got some lamium, Jacob's ladder, a little Henry spirea, some Japanese painted ferns, another oak leaf hydrangea that didn't bloom. And I just got these. I'm so excited. These are part of the other clearance plants I got. I got bobos. I mean, obviously they don't look great, and they're not going to bloom because it's too late. But and they're pretty much the last ones picked. They were all that was left at the at Lowe's before they went to clearance. So they don't look great, but I'm really excited about high hopes for the future. So lamb's ear. This is Burkett and Sage. That's the Bobo hydrangea I was talking to you about. I got 4. That is the oak leaf hydrangea. That's the variegated Solomon seal, the Japanese painted ferns, a bluish hosta that I don't know the name of. This is a white azalea. It's called a cur azalea. Let's see. This is that drinking gourd hosta. And I bought some different little hostas to go in here. Oh, I also bought caladiums that were already blooming. And I'll show you my other caladiums, but this is too much sun. They're getting burnt up. So let's see, there's another Bobo I'm so super excited about that I got. Behind it is an Eastern snowball. So it's gonna have those little snowball flowers in the spring. So hopefully this hydrangea will bloom next summer. This Eastern viburnum will bloom in the spring, as well as these azaleas. The little Henry will have those white spires on them. The Bobos will come in the summer. I'm very impatient, so I'm super excited these are going to bloom earlier than my limelights. Petunias, which I've had a really hard time keeping alive. They either thrive or die on me. There's no in between, it seems like. So these guys are thriving so far. This is that silver mound Artemis. Some don't look as good. I think, again, I overwatered them. This one has not been watered as much, and it's doing better, so I think I figured out the problem. Oh my gosh, this poor Brunera, you guys, I've moved it so many times. I just moved it hopefully for the last time today. Every time I move it, it looks worse for the wear. It's probably my only plant that has gotten worse in its time with me. So if that poor thing comes back next year, I'll be so happy. A hosta that a friend gave me, a boxwood, a tall boxwood. And then again, another Bobo. I got 4 Bobos, the azalea, the Bobo, and then I've got all these silver and white plants kind of bordering the front. I love this red twig dogwood. It looks like it's gotten maybe too much sun or been a little hurt, and I was worried about it, but it's got really a lot of growth in there. So hopefully it's all just a little transplant shock. But look at these Brunera. These ones are doing well, and I've moved them just as many times. So I don't know if it's just a more durable one. This is the Jack Frost, and the other one was the Queen of Hearts. So potentially I just got that one's better, you know, or can handle a little bit more tough love. And then right here, I love this. This is a mock orange. It's much bigger than the other one, and deer didn't take half of it off, so it's got that going for it. This is this Champagne Wishes rose. Every time I deadhead it and give it some fertilizer, it brings new flowers. I'm so excited. I really never have had any plants before. Like I said, this is my first garden. So I'm kind of learning what I like and what I don't like. And I've never thought I liked roses. I've always heard they're difficult, but I really am liking this rose. Here's another clematis on this trellis. And then on the back, I put these little 4 o'clock white flowers, and they open up in the evening, and they're, maybe it's because I just planted them the other day, but they're not really opening too much. Everything is probably pretty mad about this heat wave we've been having. Let's see. So this is more my flower area. Originally, I had more shade in this part, so I have a little bit more shade plants, but as you can see, things have gotten, it's been a bit sunnier since we took down all the honeysuckle. And somebody asked about these green giants. We did put them 4 feet apart, so hopefully they will grow into that space. These are, you know, small green giants at this time, so we are hopeful that in, you know, 3 to 5 years, they'll start to provide some screening to this house behind us. And hopefully won't have to move much. I mean, I think I will have to move a lot of things in this garden as they get larger, and potentially over here. Like I said, it is my first garden. I'm learning a lot. Here's some more caladium bulbs that I planted, and they're barely coming up. They're not that big. They look a little weak. Again, I think it might be too much sun right here because I have another area where they're doing great. These are the Celtic Pride, Siberian cypress that I have for some more evergreen color, just to have. I've tried to keep evergreens throughout so that it's not completely blank in the winter, but most of these are foliage plants and flowers, so they will be gone in the winter or just sticks. This is this harp leaf Japanese maple. I love it. And then around here, you can see, you know, where I've learned some hard lessons. So all my astilbe looks pretty burnt up and bleeding hearts. I'm guessing I have too much sun for this area. But we'll see. I'm thinking of, you know, some potentials for where I might move things next, or this fall or next spring. So we'll see. There is a delphinium that's kind of small. I've got 2 stalks. I've added some more foxglove. I'm hoping they'll reseed and come back. So I've got, I added 2 more foxglove. Back here, this little guy that looks pretty rough right here is another one I planted. It's a Gara that I found, another Gara. I found out that I love Gara, so I added another. That is a daisy back there, which I just deadheaded, so it's not, doesn't have any blooms on it. My butterfly bush is reblooming, and I'm pretty excited about that. And then this is that Peter Cottontail that I love. It stays white, and it's been really pretty. This is that Hopper or anemone, and I'm hoping that there'll be a lot of blooms this summer. I haven't seen too much action out of it, so that's why I'm hoping that it's coming. These have been gorgeous, and there's been a lot of butterflies and things on it. They are bulbs, gay feather or blazing star. And I mean, obviously, when it turns brown at the top, it's not as pretty, but they have given some height, and they've been pretty. These are these tall plum yews. I really like them because they're going to be A, evergreen, and B, kind of pop out, you know, and give structure to the garden. I'm walking in really basically at the back of my property line. So this should hopefully have a fence next year and add some more structure to the garden. This is a little rose bush. Hold on. Oh, it's the knockout rose bush. So It's small, but it should get bigger. I thought about moving it, but I think it should get bigger and fill in this space back here. We have one purple. Oh, there's a bee on it. And usually you don't see them at night. I don't know if he's snoozing or what. But it's the one purple bulb must have made it into the white ones that I ordered. I will move it just because I'm a little OCD with keeping everything white in here. This is another pampas grass. I really like it in the back. Some more gay feather. And these are this is what started the whole kind of yard transformation. These are my limelight hydrangea hedge. So I'm really excited about them. Oh, my Rose of Sharon is popping, and these are some white immortality irises. The one thing that's interesting about this garden, I'm at the back of my garden, looking at it like as if I was, looking at it from my neighbor's house. And the sun, it comes from this direction. So all my flowers kind of point this direction and not towards, me, the way I'm looking at them. So it is a tiny bit backwards. I'm not really sure how else I could have remedied that. This is the sunniest part of my yard. And we had a tree that was removed. Oh, here's a Casablanca lily that's blooming. But there's just little things I've learned. Like all the flowers tend to bloom. Oh, I love this yarrow. Yarrow is pretty amazing. I think I need some more of that. Let's see what else is back here that I love. Okay, I'm gonna walk around again. So like I said, I've learned a lot. I think I'll take some of the smaller plants and move them to where the annuals are, so I won't have to buy as many annuals for color. So like the little balloon flowers and the bell flowers, mine are pretty small, like this little guy right here, for example. So like, I think I'll put those, and I've got 5 of these little plants. So I think I'll kind of put them where I have the petunias, one bunch of them, as well as the balloon flowers, like these guys, back here. Because they're small, and they could be a good, front of the garden plant. This is Nepeta calamint. I love it so much. It's supposed to bloom for months, so I'm super excited about that. Here's some salvia back here. I did have 2 different kinds. One is the Proven Winners kind, and one is Snow Hill. This is the one that's not Proven Winners. These 2 are. And I did cut this one back, or half of it, just to see if I can make the blooms come back stronger. I'm really not familiar with deadheading or doing any of this yet, so I'm kind of going to see how it does. Oh, I'm going to put a video in of my Moonflower. I love this thing so much. And you guys, I was cursed. I missed the first 4 blooms, and I started setting alarms, and I got all crazy about it. Where are those 2 little buds? There's 2 that are coming, but they're not coming tonight. We're not gonna see it. Oh, right here. I don't know. Well, that's not gonna really help because it's dark out. But there's 2 buds in there that are gonna have flowers soon. I didn't really think this one through, or I didn't know anything about moonflowers before this garden. And I put it on the same trellis as 2 of my clematis. So if my clematises are still there at the end of the year, I'll be super excited, because this moonflower has just taken over with a vengeance. It's nuts. And like I said, I missed the first 4 blooms, and I've only seen 3. I've seen 3. So there's been approximately 7 blooms, and there's 2 more coming. But it is definitely, it likes to grow and wind. Thank you for the feedback that you provided on the first video. And in an attempt to not move the camera so quickly, I'm going to try a different approach with future videos. I'm going to try to pre-record the video to concentrate on moving the camera slowly, and then I will do a voiceover to provide the content. I hope this is an improvement for all of you who stomached the last video and this video for future videos. Again, thank you for watching, and I look forward to providing an August update.